Yep.
The speakers in the wall, on the wall.
Oh, boy.
I'm sure they aren't up to your standard, but
Yeah.
something else they have that I didn't notice is they have remote control shade openers and closers in the bedroom.
Huh. The skylights aren't nearly so bright in the afternoon.
No. Well, we were here, but we were here earlier afternoon.
Yeah.
We were here probably when the sun was.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm guessing that's what these are. Bathrooms for the. It's got a high toilet too.
Oh, boy. And you have a phone right there, too. A phone jack, so.
That's for hers, the other side of, no, wait, that's for his.
Huh.
You can tell by the bars. in the cupboards too.
Huh.
And they got a bunch of notebooks, got a little car.
Huh.
Piggy bank, yeah.
You don't mind if I record your walkthrough, do you?
Nope. People do it all the time. Well, most of my clients now are out of state, so a lot of times they can't make it to the walkthrough.
Uh-huh.
We do video chats all the time.
So you've been pretty busy this year?
It's been a pretty busy year, yeah.
Yeah.
It's dried up some. It's not been as crazy as the last. Into 2020, 2021 was pretty wild. It was all I could do to keep up, but yeah, it's pretty steady now. So.
stuff up here too.
Oh, boy, that's a bonus.
Oh, yeah. A lot of bases. That's what he needs.
Well, where the heck is Carlene? Hmm.
So what all, did y'all see a disclosure? Was there a property disclosure before y'all?
Yeah,
Okay, so y'all know about the initial damage in here?
yep.
Okay, well, there's a lot of things going on. There's a lot of things. So, I'm pretty much, I guess I'm pretty much ready.
Well, I'm pretty much ready.
All right. So, let's start in here. Excuse me, yeah, let's start in here where it's the most obvious.
Yep.
So, what is happening here on the outside? You've got roof joint coming into exterior wall, and that water just rolls right into the wall. It's a design flaw. It's a very typical design of this era, and the design literally, it destroys itself if it's not waterproofed properly up here, and they're 9 times out of 10 are not. So water's coming down for 20 plus years and has done this, and the same thing basically looks like this underneath in the crawl space as well. And I've got pictures of everything that I talk about. I've got multiple pictures of everything, and it'll have kind of bullet point explanations of everything and where it's all located.
Uh-huh.
So this is the obvious. To render all this proper, brick's probably okay. They'll need to get into the ceiling and then repair the rafters and you can't really access this particular spot in the attic. It's the space in here is not really accessible. So they'll need to take this ceiling out in this area, go back until the wood looks proper, and then they replace all that needs to be done. Same with this. It is accessible underneath. However, they'll probably just pull this carpet out of here and then the subfloor in this area. And it's honestly, the damage is here. Subfloor, seal plate, framing, joists, everything over here is fine.
Oh.
So, it's bad, but it is centralized to this area.
Yeah.
So, that, you know, it is what it is. And, you know, luckily they caught it and disclosed it. What they did not, or they might have caught it, I'm not sure, over here, so you've got this same exact roof joint on this side of the entry. And it is right here at the, this is these spots that you see up here.
Uh-huh.
These are roof leaks from that same type roof joint with the wall.
Uh-huh.
It's not as bad, but I believe what this spackle is, I believe they were trying to hide what's going on in the wall here. It's underneath, right underneath the tile where you can go, and I can actually show you this in the crawl space. We'll go down there in a bit.
Uh-huh.
This is all, the flooring is all rotted out in this area as well. Looks like just across the way over there.
Oh.
So it's kind of double trouble. I don't believe this is as bad as that is over there.
Yeah.
But it's basically the same issue.
Huh.
And I think, and you can kind of see, you know, obviously you see those, you can kind of see some water stains on the wall up there. I think they were just trying to spackle it and cover it up. I mean, take a look.
Well, the ceiling has some water stains too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in the attic, it's actually not the way the triangle, you know, as the rafters come down and the ceiling joists come down, you can't see it very good. It's kind of hidden where it is. What you can see in the attic is not horrible. So that's why I say I don't think this side is as bad as the other side.
Uh-huh.
But it's basically the same thing going on.
Yeah.
And from underneath, I peg them outside, and then from underneath, that's really where you can see.
Now, in your opinion, is there a way to treat that flashing and things up there?
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, there is. Yes. And that's another thing. It's odd because the roof looks newer.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. It's like, I would call it within 5 years.
I think it's like 3-4 years old. Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, welcome. So this is the problem spot that is similar to that spot over there, but it's doing it here, and
Okay.
I think I peg it from the outside, just that roof joint coming into that wall.
Mm-hmm.
That's always typical, indicative of this if they don't flash it right. And then found it underneath, actually.
Okay.
This.
In the crawl space.
Yes, and we can actually walk on it, and you can see this area. Kind of about 2 foot over. This area, this corner it's all, and I guess it was just rolling down the wall, and you can kind of see the water stains here. Mm-hmm. And I think with the spackle, and I think they're trying to cover up that. And I think there's settlement cracks under a lot of this paint work.
Okay.
I think they were just trying to cover up the settlement cracks as well. So,
okay.
So this is its own issue. Whether they'll need to get into the wall or not, I'm not sure. Right now, your moisture meter on it is completely dry. It's bone dry. Doesn't necessarily mean that when it rains, though, that it won't come through. So that's what, you know, I expected to have an old roof up there, and it's not. It's 2 or 3 years old. Which is, you know, that over there, I mean, that's been doing that since the first roof. I mean, that's old. That's been going on for a while. And I'm sure similar here, it's just not as bad. I would have, and it is possible that since this is dry, it is possible that when they put this new roofing on, they flashed it properly and it has stopped the moisture coming down. It's just, this is just old damage that, you know, has to be, because it's not wet. Even underneath, it's not wet, it's just rotted out, just deteriorated.
You know, and I'm curious, because if I recall correctly on the seller property disclosure, you know, it indicated that there was a new roof.
Yeah.
Okay, so my question would be, why was some of this other stuff not addressed through the insurance company
Right.
with that? If they didn't consider the damage to be related or cause of the roof, if they thought it was cause of something else,
Yeah.
so would shifting of a foundation create a crack in that wall that really was eating at that wall versus
Right.
water from the roof? I don't know.
I wonder if it's very possible that they didn't necessarily, that they didn't know that this was happening.
Yeah,
extent
I'm
of
sure they didn't.
And
Okay.
and it, and it's like, okay, we put a new roof on, and that has stopped. That stopped the issue, and they just didn't dig deeper
Yeah.
into here.
Well, it didn't stop the leak at that flashing there, yeah.
Right. And it might. I guess what I'm saying is they might have stopped the leak, but they obviously didn't fix what the leak created.
Well,
On this
over
side,
the
Well,
leak.
over there.
It was wet over there last week when we were in
Okay,
here.
so it is still
It's still
coming.
leaking, yeah.
Well, that's odd that the new roof and the new flashing didn't stop that.
Yeah,
However, I mean,
Yeah.
you
yeah, that
can
rug pad was
see-
just stopping
Yeah.
when we were here a week ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then that's on that roofing company that just replaced the roof. I would say, that's on them to come back out and do it properly. And it may be more. It may take more than a roofing company. It may take a contractor, because the problem is the roofing, but it's also this exterior wall right here and right here. There's a lot of caulking up there, but that's they need to just take that siding off and just redo the entire area.
There's the
basically.
big crack in the
Yes.
the brick and mortar, and so to your water comment, could rain not blow in?
Possibly.
It's
It
possible.
could be
Do
a
you think, or-
compound.
Possible, but that's pretty well under the roof. You'd have to have a
Right.
hell of a wind-blown
Yes.
rain to get in
Yeah.
through that crack.
Well,
Yeah.
and we are on a downslope here
Yeah.
too, so you're right. It would probably have to be a pretty
Yeah.
wicked storm to whip down through here and aim right into that crack.
It.
So I guess
It's
I'm
definitely, yeah. I mean, it could be that the moisture helped soften up that area and it helped bring that brick apart. Could be kind of a joint issue that has caused that. Also, that segues me into the second issue. There are several. I don't know how far y'all have gone around it. There's a lot of settlement cracks, a lot of foundation issues.
I
Okay.
think you've gone.
So let's go ahead and walk around. We got it here.
I was writing coming up. Did not.
So, right here, you can see that starting to break off there.
Did you get a picture of that?
Oh, yes, ma'am. Everything.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I should have said, hey,
Oh.
did you get
Yeah.
a video picture of that?
So it's starting. You can start seeing some step cracks in there. Down here. Start in the corner here, and you've got some displacement there, and then it's coming down in here. You can see that there's several hairlines through it. I'm gonna say this corner over here is probably the worst. You can actually, from the inside, you can actually see daylight through there. And they've had a foundation. Somebody's foundation has come through here. I mean, there's a marking. I'm not sure what +3. I'm not sure what, but they've dug down to the footer depth. Somebody's looked at it.
Oh.
I don't know. But this, you can actually see daylight through there. It's not the framing. The framing is textbook inside. It looks great inside. If I was just to see the floor framing, I would never think that this was going on with the block. But I'm not sure if it's, the footer that they did was not thick enough, and it's releasing. But it is definitely shifting. There's a few through here. There's a horizontal, and if you see it from the or from the outside, it's translating through on the inside as well. I've got pictures of the the cracks on the inside as well. This corner, you can see that horizontal settlement there, and then blocks broken there, and then probably the second worst area. And it translated through to the brick skirt right there at that vent. The brick's actually cracked on the inside there. It's pretty bad. There's actually a couple blocks that you can kind of move, actually. So that up there with the roof and that wall and that area, that is honestly a fairly typical issue.
Yeah.
This is another level. This is definitely a foundation company, foundation repair company coming out and doing some type of repairs. I know this corner over here, they'll dig down and actually get under that footer and bring that back up. In this area they'll address that. They may dig this out and get down to it. But the foundation, the cracks that's going to be the big ticket item on this thing. So, that's, outside of that, electric's great, plumbing's great, framing's wonderful. I mean, the attic, the framing on it is textbook. It's beautiful. Really, really like the crawl space, how they did everything. Your attic it's pre-built 2x4 trusses, so they're built off-site and brought in and put in place. It's just as strong as it can be. So the bones are great. It's just what the bones are resting on. So I've got a couple numbers of some foundation companies that could give a bid. And with that marking over there, and then somebody dug down there. There's been somebody out here that has looked at it. You might I'll write up in the report. Verify with owners. They may be able to ask them if they've had anybody come through here. But
yeah.
So there's basically two major issues. The first one being the roof issues in those walls in that area, and then the biggest by far issue is the block work around the outside.
Yeah.
So
yeah, the owner passed away 2 months ago. So you won't be able to talk to him, and his wife is still in bad shape, but she probably really wasn't that involved in anything.
Oh yeah, and I'm sure and they probably never came down here. And there was, so I've noticed a lot of this kind of the textured spackle area on the inside walls. I think that was some settlement cracks that are on the drywall, and I think they were just trying to cover that up.
Yeah.
Whoever's doing that, I think that judging by seeing this, that makes sense. Deck's in good shape. It needs a paint or a stain job, but everything's solid. It's bolted to the framing, and you've got the what's called smash blocks in between. Typically, new, they've got they require metal joist hangers up here. That's just something, but corners nothing's rotted out on it. It's good. I always like 6x6 posts instead of 4x6 for something 15 feet. But they're not. I think one of these was. I think that one's a little bit bowed, but they shimmed it, so it's still structurally in play. I think deck's fine. It just needs some love. We can go in the crawl space, and I'll show you what's underneath. Well, that don't make it easy.
Well, it's easy compared to my house.
Oh yeah, where are you at?
Well, I live on South Hills Loop, which is...
Oh, okay. Yeah, all these, everything in Holiday Island is very much on hills. So you've got quite the crawl space under here.
Yeah,
I mean, you could finish that off and have a whole nother thing under here.
Yeah.
So right over here, up in there, that's where I pulled that insulation back. You can see that is the area that is under the
Dryer.
yes, the dryer area.
Uh-huh.
And the laundry room in there. So it's basically that corner, and that makes sense that is that area.
Mm-hmm.
So that's that spot. So it's accessible here. It's accessible from up in that area.
Uh-huh.
You know, it would be pretty easy to get to and fix.
Yeah.
And on the other side of this is where it's underneath where they have the wall ripped open.
Yeah.
So, still, you know, fairly accessible for those that, you know, were doing the work. They'd be able to get in here. So, outside of that, air systems are good. I believe it was all this will be in the report. I believe this is 2016 unit. Yes, 2016 heat pump. Air's been cooling great.
Yeah.
I'll turn the heat side on for a little bit before I leave out. Everything else, this pier here, has a little lean to it. A little bit out of plane, but I don't think there's any issues with this. And the main beams, they're quadrupled up, so and they're straight. Run down through there, all your joists, everything's textbook. That's what I'm saying. The framing's great. This down here, it's done properly. All the plumbing and everything's good. These weren't. That was 2015, and that one is either 16 or 19. I'll have to look up the serial number on that, but a little bit of corrosion there, but not leaking now, so either way, pretty good shape. So, and outside of that, there, and I guess, I don't know if you can see it right here, that's the corner that, you have to kind of get down there to
get
it.
in line, but
you can see through there, through the cracks through there, but the rest of it, I mean, all that framing is, I mean, they built it well. I guess from what I understand, I guess the issue would be whatever footer, the concrete under the block, whatever they set it down on. I guess it's not thick enough, or I'm not sure. I guess that would be why it's settling like it is.
Could it be on shelf rock and
could be the entire Earth is moving underneath it. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
It's definitely not the framing, though. I mean, this is all. Okay. This is textbook. And then the rafters, attic's textbook. I mean, everything framing wise is great.
Okay.
And then so basically, I mean, that's basically it. Is the issues, with the wall rotted out.
Yeah.
And then I don't think you might be able to see it right. So it's up. That's the rotted insulation I pulled out from there. It's right up in that corner.
Is where it's like you said, it's not
sitting. Floor,
I know. I'm not sure where to walk.
Well, it's solid.
Yeah.
And I know. And I was saying, silly me, I did not put on a tinny.
Right up in there, you can see that dark in there.
Yeah. Yeah. Now that's in that front room?
No, that's the laundry room.
Best I can tell. Yeah.
Okay, so that's how you saw that.
Yeah.
And then you said there was somewhere where, the supporting wasn't touching the...
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Right out here, you can see these...
I know I wasn't saying it well, but I was hoping you
would. The posts out here, yeah. These posts actually... you can see... Well, and up here you can see it better. It's actually pulled... Actually settled down from...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, all three of those are like that. This one's in play. That's. I mean, I guess it's obviously sunk. I guess those footers, but yeah, these three posts right here, they're just not in contact with the top header. So, and that's not that. That's just kind of. Just, settlement. That's not too huge. And honestly, structurally in play right here, and the way there's a big header down through there that's in the framing that's hidden. So that's why that's still good. Basically, this corner post is the main framing that holds this area up. These three are just supports.
Yeah. But
with the framing there, but yes, they need to be. In
but
contact.
this is probably settled a bit, which has
Yes.
caused that crack.
Yep, I would say. So, outside of that, if I didn't see the block and I only saw the roof and the framing, I'd say everything was, great. Definitely the block work. That's the biggest issue. Your two rotted areas, that's pretty typical.
Yeah.
So
Money
common.
wise, taking care of the wall and the dry, or not the dry, the wet rot, wood,
Yep.
subfloor ceiling, those whole
Yeah.
corners, when we've got two now,
Yeah.
where we thought it was just the one. Is that
yeah.
cosmetic? Is that minimal repair?
I would say right now it's minimal. Really, from underneath, like I said, it's maybe 2 feet by 2 feet that is affected. The problem is it's what that 2 feet is. It's right in the corner. But I think
so it's important it's done right.
Yes,
It's not
absolutely.
a layman job.
Yeah.
So, given that information, Bruce, how do you feel about
Well,
your
of course,
being involved in that repair?
yeah. Well, the big issue is, that foundation down there. It sounds like that
Yeah.
corner.
Yeah, there's a lot of crews that can repair the rotted issues.
Okay.
This is for a foundation repair company to come out here and look at this. And
Okay.
tell
And
them,
you said you have a couple of names.
I've got a couple. Yes,
that-
I have a couple
Okay.
of contacts. And I'll give you a contact with my guy that I've used for years. There's everybody kind of used him. Fell off the earth. Nobody knows what happened to him.
Is
So,
he local or is he?
He's out of Fayetteville.
Okay.
So,
Okay. And I get it. Sometimes people get more
Yeah.
busy than they want, or
and
whatever.
they just don't answer. That is sometimes the issue.
So really,
So-
what we're looking at is, we're under contract below market with an as-is property,
Yeah.
and you knew that personally, so you understand why they wanted to just do it that way. I don't think that it's that they're mean or hiding or shady or anything. I think
Well, and I would
that
say-
there were
so-
some reasons, but
Around on this side, there's a mark on the block over there right at the biggest crack, and somebody dug down in the ground, kind of followed the crack down into the footer. So I think they may have had somebody,
That
some
might be
kind of
why they gave
foundation.
up. I mean, between that and that,
Yeah.
they just
That
decided.
might have been it.
yeah, because at some point they did just say, "We're
Yeah.
just done.
Yeah.
We're just done. Get rid of it the way
I
it
get
is."
I get it.
And they reduced it considerable, I would
Yeah.
say. But is that considerable going to be enough?
Right.
And so we'll have to look at, Bruce, I was saying to Lynn, whatever that dollar figure is in your head that says, this is an acceptable as-is offer, I expect X
Right.
dollars
Right.
to bring things up where they need to be. And so we need to investigate that
Yep.
and determine where that comes in at dollar-wise to say, I now need somebody to pay somebody to do
Right.
that cosmetic work as well as this
Yep.
foundation and see where that is. Do
Yep.
we need to try to take that back to the negotiating table saying, whoa, this was a higher dollar amount than what we anticipated because of some unforeseen reasons, or
Yeah.
it's also based on your findings. It's fair to take a report back and say, gosh, we really like you guys as people, but sorry, we got to back out of it. Well,
Yeah.
that's in this
Oh, I get it.
community, you know
I
what,
get
you
it.
do know people.
Oh, yeah.
And you know these people personally.
Yeah.
But, it's nothing personal,
No.
but it is
Oh, yeah.
more than what we
Oh, yeah.
anticipate. Now, they can
Absolutely.
offer to kick back in
yeah.
or play halvesies.
Well, I guess the next step
is.
is to get the foundation
Yeah.
company and take a
I would
look.
say get a bid, foundation bid, and get a bid to repair
Yeah.
those areas, and then go from there.
Yeah.
Just see what. You know,
Yeah.
So your
it's gonna
report
be.
will offer some possible resources for those bids?
What's that?
Your report, you'll list some
Yes.
people that might be,
Yes.
yep,
Not in the report, but I'll send some numbers. Yeah.
Okay.
With the email when I send the report.
Okay.
So, yep. And the report will go to both of y'all. Should have it by tomorrow night. Should have it by tomorrow night. A lot of times, getting the pictures in take longer. So a lot of times I'll get the wordage done and send it out, and then the next day I'll get you'll
Yeah.
get the full thing. But
Yeah.
definitely within 48 hours or something, you'll have the
Yeah.
full report. So
That's in our working.
yes.
scope.
And then honestly, I'll shoot me a text and help me remember. I'll get you those numbers tonight, the foundation, so you can go ahead and get on that.
Okay.
Yeah, don't have to worry about. And I'll have to go through and find. I don't remember these two new contacts right off the top of my head. I'll have to look through my phone book and find them. But either way, so yeah. So I'd say just there's not really much you could do as far as decision wise until I'd say contractor come in, see what that's going to be. Foundation company come in, see what that's going to be.
Yep.
And then go from there.
yep,
So, and then also, and that's those two areas, those are compound. That's going to be a contractor with a roofing company because it's got to be fixed up top.
oh, yeah, yeah.
Still coming
No, you
through.
patching the wall.
Yeah, and I guess, and honestly, I mean, it may be that if it's just a 3-year-old roof. You may hit up the same roofing company, and they, maybe under some type of warranty. That's a thing, when they took that roofing off and took that flashing off. I mean, they had to have seen
Yeah.
that was that sheathing. They might not have been able to see it in the wall, but they had to know that was that. The problem is, I could barely get to it over the garage, that area, and then that other side, it's just inaccessible in the attic.
Okay.
The area is too small to even get over there. So, I can't see what that area looks like from the attic. You got to, I guess, break into the ceiling there to, be able to see all of it. But when they pulled the shingles up and they're on top of the roof, they should have been able to see.
Right on.
And they may have put a patch there and then just, patched it with a new piece of sheathing, new piece of plywood, and then, moved on. A lot of times it's you got a roofing company that they only care about the roof, and then you got other so.
I don't imagine we have any way of knowing who the roofing company was.
Unless the
We'd have to
owners
go-
kept
we'd have to go back to the
kept records or something.
Well, even if the owner says, I don't know,
Yeah.
then it was an insurance job according to the seller property disclosure. So
Storm,
who was
hail damage.
their insurance company that paid
There you
out?
go. Yeah.
They're gonna.
There you go.
So can you track that down?
We're gonna try. Yeah.
Detective work. All types of hats, but being a realtor. So, that's pretty much it. Electrical looked great, plumbing looked great. We've got a couple things to finish up, but in the kitchen, the left side as you're looking at the sink, there's no moisture damage, but there is a leak right there at where the pipe enters in the sink. Did notice that. That's
The drain pipe?
yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Yeah, okay.
And it hasn't done anything to the cabinet.
Yeah.
And then underneath, you could see under the spa tub and everything real good, and there's no leaks there.
Yeah.
Wasn't any leaks in the plumbing down here.
Yeah.
Electric panels look great, really beautifully wired. It's all 90 degree and labeled, and you'll have pictures of the electric panel with the cover off. And pictures of the framing in the attic, and insulation was pretty good. So that's about that.
Okay. So Scott, we'll write you a check for $450.
Yes, sir. I'll take that, and then when I send the report, I'll send you a paid invoice.
Okay.
So, and that can just Walker Works LLC.
Okay. Got my banker with me.
Yeah.
You travel with an entourage, don't you?
Nice.
And I'm going to say he travels with a good-looking entourage.
Walkerworth LLC.
Yes, ma'am.
Any other questions that you can think of, Bruce?
Nope.
I'm gonna get, while this door is open and I don't have to.
What's the date, you know?
I think it's 29?
29th, I believe, yes. And yeah, I'll get you a paid invoice. Thank you very much. When I send that report. That's what I was looking at. It doesn't have a. It's got a pressure gauge on it. It doesn't have a how
Sorry.
how full it is.
Yeah, that's what I was like trying.
Oh, there it is. It's hidden. I see it now.
Are you able to
45. Yeah, 45% full. So.
Or if you want your picture for your report, that'll work out. Because I am gonna call, while this says property of and service by, which leads me to think it's a rental.
Yep. Yeah, they typically always are. Yeah, I guess.